Start with a guy right down the road here in Ann Arbor, Drake Johnson, a running back, a senior who's really exploded this year.
Yeah, Kyle, I think that's an accurate way to put it. I think Drake has really risen to the consciousness, not just of the state, state high school coaches, but college coaches as well. I think he'll tell you, and as a matter of fact, he told me when I talked to him, that last year he really broke out of the blocks really well against Cass, and then kind of fizzled from there and didn't really put in the kind of effort into being the kind of football player that kid truly can be until he got into the offseason and really understood that he needed to step it up a bit when it came to getting in the weight room, getting out on the track on his own time, and preparing for a season where he needed to be exceptional if he was going to be a college athlete. And that's exactly what he's been. 2,100 yards, double 20 touchdowns, 20-plus touchdowns. The guy has been phenomenal. He's the whole offense, it seems, for Pioneer, and schools are taking notice. He's sitting only on an Eastern Michigan offer right now. They offered him after a camp performance at Michigan that was pretty good. He caught the football pretty well. I think it's one of the questions about Drake. Would he be a college running back or would he play another position? But I think he's answered that question with how he's played on the football field. He's a one cut and go back. And once he gets a crease, he can go the distance. I mean, he's a state hurdle champ in 110 meters. He's a guy that could go on track scholarship somewhere if he wanted to. So he's a guy that's getting looks beyond Eastern now. Michigan certainly showing him some attention. They were at his game last week. Syracuse with Tyrone Wheatley is showing him a lot of attention. Iowa is in there. Many of the MAC schools. He just visited Toledo on Saturday. So I think you're going to see Drake Johnson's profile really rise and kind of reflect the kind of season he had, which has been nothing short of exceptional.
Okay, now another guy, another local running back out of Plymouth High School who's a little bit of a different back, but he's also having an exceptional year, and that's Dante Fox.
Yeah, Dante Fox is a kid that I think college coaches were a lot more convinced about before the season than they were with Drake. Drake is a little bit more of a riser than Dante Fox. He was more of a known commodity, a kid that's a stockier built kid, about 5'10", about 200 pounds, can bruise you between the tackles, can catch the football out of the backfield. And while he's not a burner, he's the guy that's going to run for a ways before you catch him from behind. Many of the MAC schools have already gotten on him. You've seen your Toledos, your Westerns in there. Even has a BCS offer from Cincinnati. I kind of look to see him on in that kind of realm. I don't know that you'll see the BCS powers really jump in droves. He's had the kind of season that I think demands that, 150 yards per game. But I think at this point, at this juncture, it's more likely that he winds up upper level MAC, maybe a Big East school jumps in there. I think he's kind of in the same boat with the kid from Muskegon, Jawan Lewis. Both of those kids are about 5'10", 200 pounds. They're going to bruise you. They can catch the football a little bit out of the backfield, but they aren't burners. And I think what the scouts are kind of looking at is, hey, are they going to go the distance if they get a crease? That's what you get with Drake Johnson. That's why you see in Iowa. That's why you see in Michigan being more intrigued because he's a potential big play guy. Dante Fox is more your move the chains kind of guy. Same thing with Jawan Lewis. I think that's why you're probably going to see them maybe high-level MAC, maybe Big East level in the BCS conference.
And what a combination of backs it would be at Cincinnati to combine Dennis Norfleet, who's already committed from Detroit King, Absolutely. With a guy like Dante Fox who can really, get it up the middle. Class 2012 is starting to wind down a little bit. We're going to start shifting towards the class of 2013 as coaches start making more phone calls. Who are some guys who have, kind of had some good years and are going to hear some more in the next couple months?
Well, you got to start with Shane Morris. I don't know what you can say about him that hasn't been said. The kid has all the tools. He has the size. He has the arm. You're surprised by his ability to not only move in the pocket, but to escape from the pocket and run the football down the field. Shane Morris is a phenomenal prospect. Now, again, that doesn't guarantee success in the future. There are a lot of things that go into success and failure, but again, that rocket that he has on his left shoulder is going to take him a long way if he stays healthy and again, stays grounded. And his parents, his coach, Paul Versica over at De La Salle, they do a good job of doing that. After him, I thought for a time it was going to be a battle to see who the top player in the state was. I think Steve Elmer up in Midland is a phenomenal prospect as well. The kid is 6'6", about 300 pounds. Still a little raw, but even in that rawness, you see some of that natural ability. He's come a long way. I went to a workout of his. He worked out with Lomas Brown this summer, and you could really see his technique take a huge push from that. And Notre Dame got themselves a good one. There are a number of other kids in state. I really like the kid out on the west side of the state, Corey Willis, playing out in Holland, a mix between, you don't know if he's a corner, if he's a receiver. It remains to be seen, but I think coaches are intrigued by him. You got Riley Norman up in Cadillac, a big offensive lineman. It's going to be a deep class, I think, next year when you look in the state of Michigan. One that a number of schools are going to be able to harvest when you look at it in the grand scheme of things. I didn't even talk about, some of the kids around back on this side of the state, like Johnny Reschke over Birmingham. Brother Rice already has a Michigan State offer. So those are some of the kids that you can kind of keep an eye on to see what they do, how they emerge as the season progresses.
Be sure to log on to statechamps.tv/Mr. Football to vote for who you think deserves the award this year. And for more recruiting news, you can always follow Sam and I on GoBlueWolverine.com. For Sam Webb and State Champs, I'm Kyle Bogenschutz.